Y'all too damn nosy, worried about what I'm doing in my bed. Hell, the people who know what's going on in my bed, they know what the hell going on with my bed and what the hell I do in it.
Interesting story. Dwight Howard accused of forcing himself on a man. Doesn't deny the encounter.
But Harper then claims Howard surprised him by introducing him to a man dressed as a woman. Harper said the man called himself Kitty.
The story of Dwight Howard's coming out is becoming increasingly bizarre by the day. Shortly after Dwight publicly refuted claims that he had forced a young man into a threesome, there were whispers circulating that Dwight had been to purported all-men parties where Will Smith and Diddy were there. In July 2021, NBA player Dwight Howard was accused by a man of forcing him into a threesome with a man masquerading as a woman at his home. In case you missed this dramatic incident, finally responding to these accusations, Dwight stated that everything was consensual even although he did not refute having an experience with the two males. But according to court filings made by the purported victim, Dwight is currently being sued in Georgia for civil rights violations. More outrageous accusations about Dwight surfaced on social media in the meanwhile. According to some accounts, the actor is a member of a covered Hollywood club where prominent businessmen exploit much younger individuals. Diddy and Will Smith were previously accused of something similar, as you are undoubtedly aware, and fans are now conjecturing that this rabbit hole is far deeper than it seems. However, what details of Dwight's interactions with males did he disclose? Were other prominent celebrities involved in these encounters? Let's dissect it.
Oh shoot, y'all heard about that? Dwight, they said Dwight was in a text messaging a guy. Who cares? Who cares who I was text messaging? You just mad because I want text messaging. Yo, ugly ass.
A lawsuit has been filed against Dwight Howard because he claims that he essayed a young man at his house. Fans argue that this isn't about Dwight being homosexual, but rather the crimes he may have committed, despite the fact that Dwight has responded to these claims by suggesting that people are strange for being concerned about his sexual orientation. Radar Online was able to get court documents that show Dwight first connected with his purported victim, Stephen Harper, on social media in May 2021. They allegedly began flirting, and in his lawsuit, Stephen says Dwight informed him he was into, quote, freaky stuff, and asked for graphic pictures to be sent to him. Dwight acknowledged in his complaint statement that he texted Stephen from May to July of 2021, including multiple texts that contained pornographic images and videos. Subsequently, on July 19, 2021, Dwight extended an invitation to Stephen to visit his home. Stephen provided text messages and an Uber receipt from that day as evidence that he was there. Dwight acknowledged that they proceeded to his bedroom, undressed, and, in his words, kissed consentingly in response to Stephen's complaint. But according to Stephen's lawsuit, just as they were locking lips, a different man burst into the bedroom. Stephen claimed that this individual identified as Kitty and was dressed like a woman. According to Stephen, Dwight told him that he preferred for them to be a threesome with Kitty. Stephen objected, stating it was not what he had agreed upon. Stephen then observed as Kitty began to engage Dwight in a sexual act, but he declined to take part. But after that, Stephen claims Dwight began touching him in ways that didn't feel right. According to Stephen, he requested Dwight to stop, but Dwight said he was going to do whatever and Stephen would appreciate it. According to Stephen's lawsuit, Dwight got to his feet, towered over him, grabbed him by the thighs, had him take off his underpants against his will, restrained him, and engaged in non-consensual sexual acts. According to the lawsuit, Mr. Harper was tied down and had to stay in one spot as the defendant continued to harass him, causing him to fear for his life. Stephen claimed that after the encounter, Dwight wouldn't let him call an Uber and insisted that Kitty carry him home instead, forcing him to do the same act on him. Dwight is accused of assault, violence, purposeful infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment in Stephen's case. Dwight refuted Stephen's claim that Kitty surprised him in his reply. stating that plaintiff knew Kitty would be at the house before plaintiff even got to the defendant's house. In addition to acknowledging that Kitty was a guy dressed like a woman, Dwight also acknowledged that he, Stephen, and Kitty had sex. He asserted that everything was consenting nevertheless. Dwight is now requesting that the entire action be dismissed. He also denied assaying Stephen. That's not all though. Stephen, Dwight's accuser, further states that after the purported essay, he was threatened by a man named Kitty while being driven home. Harper claims in Stephen's complaint that Kitty told him to keep everything a secret or else someone would shoot him in the head. What's even more unsettling is that at least one of Dwight's 5 children was sleeping in a different area of the house during the alleged attack on Stephen, according to documentation that Radar Online was able to get. In addition to refuting rumors that he essayed Stephen, Dwight addressed questions over his sexual orientation via an Instagram live and chastised followers for being strange and inquisitive. You all get worked up over who people hang out with. I own the dang business. Whatever I'm doing in my bedroom. It's your darn business what you do in your bedroom. Not everyone is suited for that. Too many inquisitive people who are concerned about my activities in bed. Hell, those who are aware of my bed habits are aware of everything that goes on in it, including what the devil I do in it. Not everyone on the internet is interested in it. It's not for lack of blogs. It's not for lack of web pages. Since you all want to access my wood, I don't have to inform anyone where I keep it. It's none of your business where I put my y'all. That's just strange. You are strange if you want to know what people are doing in bedrooms or who they are sleeping with and playing with. You are the odd one out. Whoa, Dwight, have you heard about that? They claimed that the Caucasian man was texting a concerned guy. Who the heck was this person I was texting? You ugly person. You're simply upset that I didn't text back. Now, Dwight is quite correct when he says that people get obsessed with what other people do in their beds. After all, as long as consent is given and adults are involved, it's none of their concern. However, given that Dwight is being accused of SA, this is obviously far more severe than that. People further claim that since Dwight is a well-known individual, they have a right to know if he has ever committed a crime. A different fan wrote, "A number of business leaders have commented on these claims in the interim. Among them was Mace, Diddy's former bad boy artist, who seemed to be implying that Dwight is deceiving the world by saying that what he does in his bedroom is private. Statistics frequently state this since what individuals do in their bedrooms is private. Not always the case, you understand, and it matters who dates you in the end when it comes to profiting from the narrative. Should you share a locker room with them?"
Room. That's between them. Not necessarily true. You know, and when it comes down to making money off the story, it matters. When it comes down to who dating you is gonna matter. If you're gonna be in the locker room with them, it matters. Because there's about 30 teams that did not sign Dwight Howard because it matters. So let's dispel that. That's the first thing we gotta dispel. The second thing is that is consensual. It's never consensual if you surprise somebody. Consensual is agreeing beforehand on what's gonna happen. If it's not agreed to beforehand, it's not consensual. Young guys need to know this. Young ladies need to know this. It's not consensual if it's not agreed to beforehand.
Both young men and women should be aware of this. If it's not agreed upon in advance, it's not consensual. In addition to all of this, unverified internet allegations reportedly surfaced suggesting Dwight is a member of a purported Hollywood club where famous men host parties for much younger men. Diddy, Dwayne Wade, Will Smith, and Diddy have all been the subject of similar accusations, as you are well aware, and Jaguar Wright has asserted in the past that young men have fled Will and Jada's home scared and screaming. In addition, young men have screamed to leave their home in order to avoid them and their mentoring. Bashir Gray and Meek Mills. Regarding Diddy, Jaguar claimed that it's not really about sexuality when it comes to strong men like Diddy. "I'll do everything I want to do in my building," he declared. He was like, "See, it's power," and she was like, "I just don't know." He claimed that if he could have a man suck his, he could make anyone do anything for money. You gave Christopher Williams a check and said that he was sucking you for a demo deal. That's what you said, Puff. To be clear, there isn't any hard proof that Dwight Howard has been acting in this manner. However, because these accusations have been circling these Hollywood guys for years, people on social media are conjecturing that they are all connected. One fan stated that Dwight Howard must have attended those Diddy parties. No sane individual should disparage anyone's sexual orientation, a fan added in 2023. If this is the case, though, I object to people intimidating others with their wealth or social standing. However, what do you think of Dwight's reaction to the accusations? And do you believe that Hollywood's use of coercion and control is a bigger problem here? And do you believe that Hollywood's use of coercion and control is a bigger problem here? After leaving a comment below, watch the following video.